and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Saturday, the 3rd of August, which is Galway Festival Day 6, Glorious Goodwood Day 5. I am flatcapcallum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Welcome to the Saturday vid. What have I got in store for you today? Well, a little bit very different from Friday. Friday was a volume day. That being said, I've got 9 selections across 8 races, but I've only actually got it in 2 bets. So there's no combination, double E bets, that kind of stuff. There's a 5-horse bet, which has got a mild level of complication, but you could do it an easy way if you want. And there's a Yankee. 6 horses at Goodwood, actually. Goodwood's where we're stacked, 3 at Galway. And it's a total stake of £23. So for the penultimate vid of this little interlude, we have got a £23 stake going on. So before we do that, how did we fare on Jumbo Bumper Friday? 2 nice winners. 1 didn't count for diddly squat. 1 did count and got us most of our money back. So for those wily folk out there that sort of pick the bones out of some of the things I do and do it a different way, you may well have come out ahead. I know Carl did. He let me know in the comments. Thanks very much, Carl. Well done to you. But for those of you who followed it to the T, very small loss on the day. So I think we've had 1 small win this week, 3 small losses, and 1 was like the first day £10 on, £10 off. So the worst we've done is minus £10, which I absolutely take for a worst day for the volume we're turning over. But yeah, we are, I think, minus £4.78 after 5 days of venturing, despite the fact I've managed to pull out a 33 to 1 winner, 2 25 to 1 winners, and a 20 to 1 winner across across the 2 festivals, and we've had 3 lost out in a photo, 33s, 12s and 10s. So yeah, 4 nice winners, 3 losing out in a photo. What we haven't got, or we haven't had so far, is the percentage of horses making the frame overall. So our win percentage and win pricing is above average, but our actual place terms, in terms of what I'm about, is trying to string 3 or 4 together in one bet. That's what we're really, really wanting to do. So the wins are lovely along the way, and clearly they really, really count if you can connect 2 of them together. But yeah, that's what we're aiming for. So we've got 2 bets to try our luck with on Saturday. So let me spin through Friday's review quickly. No good. And then we went on to here, and it was this Toy Me Son. Now, not quite sure with that from a price point of view. I mean, it didn't matter because it didn't pay out, but the price definitely was a bit shorter than that by the time the video, I think, uploaded. And so I worked out I was going to take 12s as a fair price anyway, but it didn't count. So if you got a better price, it was 25 the night before, so well done if anybody picked that independently. So nothing on bet 1, because it all started off pretty grim, didn't it? And then we went no, non-runner, beaten in a photo. So we've got a few bits back there. And then we had no, non-runner, exceeding. I think that horse wants a straighter track. That's my view, Des. Leopardstown, Curragh, that kind of stuff. I think we're big, long, wide. I think it's the bends. I don't think that horse likes the bends. Bet 4, no good, non-runner, and they did play, so we really lost out on the 1 leg there, so nothing back there. So it was all a bit rubbish, wasn't it? And then that wasn't far away. That ran with credit considering the price, and then that did go and win, which I was in the car at the time listening to the commentary, and yeah, I really didn't know which way that had gone. I didn't see the race, but yeah, on commentary it was very hard to tell. So yeah, very delighted to get that one over the line, because I know a lot of people would have just ignored that horse because it's not been running in rules, hunter chasers, point to points, that kind of stuff. I think Silas Allway asked me in the comments, like, how did you pick that out? Because I think he or she said, I think they laughed when they saw I picked that horse. If you actually look at the back form, ignore the fact of what it's done in hunter chasers and point to points. the actual last time it ran under rules, it was fifth in the Topham about 15, 16 months ago, and it's dropped about £18 since then, I think it was. And then it last ran at Galway 2 years ago, and it's dropped £26, and it was really competitive. Done well at Galway before, done well for us 2 years ago. We had it in a four horse Yankee, which all placed, and then in the last leg, not close enough, did start to gain a bit of ground. So we just got that single, but that turned about 20 quid back for 33s. I know the SP was in the 20s. And then because this was a non-runner, it did mean we got that one again, but half stake, about 10 quid back there. So yeah, 5 o'clock, only ended up having one horse. So won it the previous 2 years. The one horse, Walnut Beach, couldn't do it. But the 3 o'clock Goodwood, that Golden Mile, I wouldn't know off the top of my head, and I haven't probably got the inclination to go and look, but I would dare say I would struggle to find another race where I can say to you I've had the winner 3 years in a row, and on top of that the winner 3 years in a row at a double figure price. But that Golden Mile race at Goodwood has been good to me. Alright, Galway, and then we had place, no non-runner, so a couple of pence back for that. That was it. So I had it as 40 on, 34.95 back, loss of £5.5, and I think that means we are down 478, something like that. It's in the description. You can always check. It's in the description. Updates every day, the profit and loss, loads of other stats in there and stuff that if you might want to see, they're all in there. Okay, so let's move on to the two bets for Saturday. Here is the big Goodwood bet. So a 5-horser. I've done it more complicated. You can decide how you want to do it, but I'll get to that. So 225. This is actually, I quite like this race from a value point of view. I've got 2 horses, so yeah, I've got one in the other bet to go with the 3 Galways. But 225 Tides of War, 28 to 1. I think it's a really nice price. I backed it last time. It wasn't on the channel when it won, and it's only gone up about £4. And yeah, I just think price wise, Hayley Turner's won on it before. She's on it again. Yes, there's some unexposed types in the race, but the horse has got some decent course and distance form in the book, and is ground versatile. So that was in nice price. 3 o'clock Sumo Sam. Now I backed that last year in the race, and it won by an absolute street on heavy ground. It then followed up in it and ran a nice race next time, and then it absolutely blew out at Longchamp, and then first time out this season blew out again. They've given it a wind up, so that's a positive that hopefully they're trying to fix whatever is the problem. Tom Marquand is back on. The question mark is, have they fixed what's gone wrong, and what about this firm ground? How's it going to go? Because it clearly performed really well on heavy. I like the Goodwood form on this horse, because yeah, not every horse takes to the track, and even though sometimes you'll find that horses will run better when the ground is terrible, generally you find all the Goodwood form can carry through whatever the ground. So it's not to say, like, you know, clearly some horses love mud and they don't like fast ground. So I don't think there's enough to say that Sumo Sam doesn't like faster ground yet. So I think that's worth chancing with Tom Marquand coming back to the seed of a really nice win. So that's in. And then 335 Stewards Cup. I'd imagine people would have thought I'd have gone on big on this race, but I didn't like the place terms. So 28 runners, 6 places, and it's a sprint. And basically, I'm very I'm a lot more careful, I guess, on some of these sprint big fielders. Like when I've gone back through and looked at stats and stuff, and stats for the last few years, and looked at my strike rate, it doesn't hold up as well on a sprint than it does compared like a mile to a mile and 4. So yeah, I just wanted to go with one horse, and I was quite comfortable to find one horse. So I didn't want to avoid the top of the market, and Ferros is the one that stuck out to me. I think it will be shorter tomorrow. So it's a Jack Shannon horse. He's had, I think, 8 horses run at Goodwood this week. We've only backed one of them, Miss Attitude, and it lost in a head bobber. And yeah, I think this is worth trying. The last 2 times it's run, if you just look at bare form, it was down the field. in big handicaps, but actually it didn't get any luck either time. And the form before that, I think, is very solid. And both those times it went off at quite a short price. So there's nothing to say that the horse wasn't good enough on the last two runs. It just didn't get the run up of the green, which happens in 6 furlong sprints. So I think, yeah, drawn 12. Ideally, you probably want to be a bit higher for the Stewards Cup. But I think if he goes, David Provet goes over to the higher side, we might get a run for our money. But Goodwood statistically is the worst track in the whole of the UK for bad luck stories in running. So you need a bit of luck. So 6 places everywhere, apart from Sky offering 97 places, I think. They're offering 8 places. And then we've got 410 Pisnier 20s and 520 Celtic Warrior 12s. So if you want to do this as a Canadian or Super Yankee or Lucky 31, you knock yourself out. What I'm doing for the channel is this. I want a slightly more stake on the smaller multiple bits, basically. So I've got 10 times 20p each way doubles, 10 times 15p each way trebles, 5 times 12p each way 4 folds, and a 15p each way 5 fold. That works out to 850. So that is that bit, and then there's 50p each way singles. I've just tried to keep it simple. 50p each way singles on all 5 of them. Sky are the best bookie for Saturday. Joint next best, because there's a few offering 4 places in this. What do you call it? Is it Lily Langtree? Is that what it is? I think it might be. 365 Paddy, Coral, Betfair, Betfred, Boyle Sports. They are the ones that will be offering 4 there. But generally speaking, we've got 4, 4, 6, 5, 4, something like that. 13.50. That's bet 1. And then bet 2, we've got my old fave, Yukon Glen, often on the betting staking plans on my vids, because it's always overpriced, because it's always, the price is based on its chance of actually finishing first. If you actually look at the each way odds of that horse, they are much better than a fifth of 22. So 225 Goodwood, Yukon Glen 22s. Taking a bit of a gamble on this 230 Galway. I didn't like anything in the main runners, so there's quite a lot in there that have already run this week that could come out, and there's a few that I'm sure might come out because of ground. And West Away is one of about 3 or 4 for John McConnell, and I think it's the best one of his in terms of it's got way better chance than anything else has. So for a variety of reasons, whether he takes them out, the people take him out because of the ground or because they've already run this week, and there'll always be horses run 2 or 3 times, but I'm taking a chance of the third reserve on here. So this, if you're watching this late Saturday morning, this already might not be running. But I'm taking a chance that this one gets in, because if it gets in, I think the price will go shorter. West Away 16 to 1. 450 Galway, Showermek, we backed it earlier in the week and they pulled it out, so I'm hoping it runs this time. It's got to overcome a less favourable draw. You don't want to be really out in the car park, particularly on those 7 furlong ones, but I think it's worth chancing. It is a horse that will want to get up with the pace, so you'll have to just watch of how quickly it can get up with the pace or not, and if it can't, it might be cooked right at the beginning. We'll see. And then the 525 Galway, that one has already run this week, and I'm hoping it will still run on Saturday. Diaba 14s, 25p each way Yankee and 50p each way single, so that's 950 total. Sky are best for the bet, and then joint next best 365 Paddy, Betfred, Unibet, Betway and Boyle Sports. That takes you to £23. That is my Saturday interest, so I shall be back for one final vid, probably Saturday night, for Sunday's Galway races. So there's 4 or 5 handicaps on Sunday at Galway worth looking at, so I'm confident we should be able to pull out some sort of bet for Sunday to finish the week off. So thanks for everyone who's been joining us along the journey so far this week. It's been a roller coaster that has got us to minus about £4. So let's see. The thing with these bets is, and I think I've talked about this before, some people understand this and some people will kind of work it out anyway. On a day like Friday, for instance, I went through everything and I picked out my horses. I've then got to put a version of a staking plan out for the channel. What I'm doing personally is lots of more variations of multiples with the same horses, and I can't just do loads and loads and loads like that on the channel, and because I'm happy with the horses, and I try and put them in what I think is the best version of a combination, but I don't always get it right. So it's entirely up to folk what you guys do with stuff. So if you don't like how I've done it, then perfectly entitled to go and do it a different way, and try and put them in different combinations of what you want to do. I'd say I get it right more than I get it wrong in terms of with my selections, getting it right for the channel. I think I get it right more than I get it wrong in that respect. Not saying we win on more days than we lose, but as in get him in the right combinations. But there'll always be days when I don't. And so on a day like Friday, when you've got two nice winners and they're not in the same bet, it can be super frustrating. It's just part of it. And what I've tried to do in the course of a few years on this channel is to convert what I would do, which is in real life, have lots of small stake multiples with lots of different variations, to basically, if I connect a couple of things on a day, it'll work. So hopefully this late night ramble makes some sort of sense to you. What I'm saying is your own choice, do what you want with it. What I'm saying is, I'm trying to put the best version of what I do, but what I do in real life is way more complicated than what I'd ever do on the channel. I just don't. It's just not something I can do on the channel. And literally, if someone said to me, "Oh, can you just show us all your bets for the day?" I think it would make people like their head would pop. So I have been trying this year just to. It's hard to get some money on sometimes, but when you're doing lots and lots of small stake multiples, it takes time to put on, but you can get them on in places. So it does make it a little bit easier in that respect. It just takes up a lot more time. And I got stuff on. I got a family, and having a nice days out and stuff this week. And the other night I was super late video because up with the baby, and baby decided to be a bit sick on me. That wasn't great. I mean, the other night, 2 nights ago, gosh, I was sat here, just done the stupidly late one, not this one, that's almost as late, but not as late as that one. That was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and literally behind me, this is on the ground floor, my doorbell goes at 3 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Literally open the blind to the next to me to see some guy on the porch. I won't repeat all the words I used, but yes, trying to work out why he was on my doorstep and ringing the doorbell at 3 o'clock in the morning. He then was trying to be quiet at this point, and I was not quiet. Basically, he didn't want to speak because he didn't want to wake people up. He rang my doorbell. Anyway, short version was, it turns out he was drunk and lost and wanted to know if I could give him a lift home. He saw the light on, so he thought he'd try and ring the doorbell to see if I could give him a lift home. I mean, he'd asked to have had a skinful, really, hadn't he? Like, literally, doorbell, stranger's doorbell, Tuesday night, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're ringing the doorbell, could you give me a lift home because I'm lost? I've not heard anything on the news, so I think the guy got home, but I did not help him, I'll be honest. I'm happy to be a good Samaritan in points in my life, but 3 o'clock in the morning, got, a bunch of little people in the house. I'm not going to open the door to a stranger who appears to be a bit drunk and ringing my doorbell. Anyway, that's the way I've ended this video. All right, I'll see you for the last video of the week in the next, whatever the next one is, maybe in about 22 hours. All right, thanks very much. Have a good Saturday. Bye bye.